Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting edition of Dan's Models. This is John sitting with Dan, and we're looking at a really cool HO scale model.
Yeah, this is a model of Southern Pacific SW1500 number 2670. This is an engine that I actually photographed in 1995 in South San Francisco.
All right.
And I noticed that at that time, at least, it still had its light package on.
Yeah, that's unusual, right? I mean...
Yeah, especially that late,
yeah.
95. So, of course, I wanted to make a model of it, and I eventually
of course.
did. I have had this model on way back a long time ago when we were doing the video podcast. I think I had it on at some point.
Yeah. But, you know, I think this was on... I might be wrong about this, but this might have been on the very first video podcast ever.
Wow.
If it wasn't the very first one, it was maybe the second one, which was, I think, September or something like 2011, or I don't even remember. It was so long ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I did a whole bunch of stuff to this engine. This is actually an Athearn Blue Box. This was before they released their newer SW1500s in the Ready to Roll series. Okay. So I did a heck of a lot of work to this engine.
Well, it looks amazing.
Thank you. So I did all kinds of work on the ends of the engine. Both pilots actually, quite a bit of surgery done to them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the hoses. The hoses look cool. The lights look cool. I mean, the grills. I mean, everything on this looks real. Yeah,
it's. I had to, the uncoupling levers. I had to put those on. I had to do the hoses. I think there's some end grabs on the pilots on the bottom.
And look at that chain. Is that a real chain, or is it just scaled like small?
No, that's a real chain. That's I redid the handrails on the engine too.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Careful.
Oh yeah, it's a real chain. That is cool.
Anyway,
what you were afraid I was going to do? Stab it?
No, break it, because it's easy to get it unglued from the handrail upright things. I
had to make it move. That was just. I just got a real thrill out of that.
Yeah. I've actually figured out a way that when I do them now, I actually make like little hooks to hold the chain in.
Oh,
so
that
it's
would
not
help.
just glue.
Yeah.
But this one is just glue. So,
okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't break it. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have been so intent on making it move like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, but one thing I have to do, we got to turn these lights off, and I want to see the lights on this thing, because I know how you do stuff. Yeah. And I'm going to be really surprised if they don't all work. So let me stop the camera. We'll turn the lights off. Yep. There it is. I see your gyro light on the left there. And the other one's just a regular headlight, right?
Right.
And, okay, show me the middle. I know it works, Dan. If it doesn't work, I'm going to hit you.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. It's kind of dim, but it's there, though.
Yeah, there. I turned the gyro light off. Maybe that'll make it easier to see.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I have it set up. I just actually recently redid this with a Loc Sound Select decoder. I had a 3.5 in there before, and because it has so many lights, I actually had to have a second decoder in there just to handle some of the lights.
Oh, we're using a fleet lighter or something like that?
Yeah, TCS fleet lighter. Now I just have the one decoder in it. So I have the red emergency light set to work on both ends simultaneously.
Probably had to, right?
Yeah, there aren't enough function outputs to make those separate. But that's kind of a light that doesn't get used that much anyway.
Yeah. It sure looks cool, though. It's too bad they didn't use it much.
Yeah. The number boards actually work, too.
Oh.
So that required a lot of custom work because these don't have lightable number boards out of the box.
Oh, my goodness. That's a heck of a project.
Yeah.
So this is the rear of the engine, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, same thing, though. There's a gyro light and there's a headlight.
Right. It also has a full cab interior, and I actually had to pretty much scratch build the interior.
Yeah.
Because the old Blue Box SW1500s had nothing inside there.
That must have looked weird, huh? You have windows with nothing?
Yeah, it's just a big empty space. Also, I added some crew figures.
Yeah, I remember that because I was joking on one of whatever podcast it was that one of them was you and one of them was me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is every piece of glass in the cab is custom cut and fit into the opening.
That must have been a lot of work, too.
That was a lot of work. Every single one of those windows. It's not really glass, it's plastic, but I mean,
right.
They all had to be custom cut and fit in there. There's probably a laser kit American Model Builders thing or something like that available for these now.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did this, there either wasn't or I didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I cut my own.
Jeez.
And that was a pain because this engine has a lot of windows.
Yeah. No, I'm liking the hose detail on this end too. This is really cool.
Yeah. Under the sill, the air reservoirs are replacement parts. Those are from Detail Associates. Got some other detail parts done there. I also added a speed recorder and brake lines to the trucks.
There's a lot of extra detail that I can see in the trucks.
Yeah. So, and I also even put decals on them because these had the gear ratio stenciled on the trucks. So,
yeah, I can see that. I mean, they're so small, but still noticeable.
Yeah. I also used some Canon photo etched walkways, and the handrails are all custom made too. Those are all precision scale stanchions.
Oh wow!
And brass wire.
Okay. So you soldered like you do on the weathering and detailing diesel locomotives video?
They're soldered together. And it's also completely custom painted.
Yeah.
It was painted for SP when I bought it, but I ended up repainting the whole thing when I did it as 2670. And I also, fortunately, Microscale makes the red Southern Pacific lettering for... Southern Pacific didn't paint them that way. That was something that kind of happened later after some of the lettering wore off.
Yeah, they're usually white, aren't they?
Yeah, they should be white.
Yeah.
Older SP engines sometimes had it in gray. Anyway, this is pretty much what 2670 looked like when I took pictures of it. So I was trying to reproduce, what I saw in the photos.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Can we watch it run?
We sure can. Okay, so like I said, the engine has a Look-Sound Select decoder in it now. And the speaker is a 4-ohm speaker, and it's located under the radiator area.
Yeah, it sounds as good as it looks.
Yeah, I really like the sound set Look-Sound has out now for the SW1500. It's really one of their better ones. I mean, they're all good, but this one they did a really, really good job on it.
I seem to recall liking the F unit a lot, too.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that one, too. That's one of the things I like about them is they release updates to the sound sets, and you can just reprogram the engine with the new sound set if you want to, and they just keep making them better and better. One thing I also redid with this engine was the drivetrain. I think before on our podcast or at some point I've mentioned that I had 3 out of 4 engines that I had done with Northwest Shortline drivetrains fail.
Is this one of them?
This is 4 out of 4.
Oh, you're kidding.
No. Because this thing stopped running. That was one of the reasons I pulled it apart to change the decoder, is because it stopped running altogether. And it had an electrical issue because one of the wires to the trucks had come loose. So that was a problem, but it wasn't the only problem. When I opened it up, I noticed that the drivetrain, the same thing had happened. The little cup and ball attachments that you can put on a metal shaft
It cracked.
And
what a piece of junk. Like, why did they even sell that stuff?
I don't know.
Who is it again? Northwest Short Line?
Yeah, their parts are usually really good, too. That's why I'm surprised.
Are they still around?
Yeah. I use a lot of their stuff, and usually it's good, but,
I wonder if they know about that issue.
I don't know. I don't know what happens to it. And I mean, it wasn't like I used a shaft that was too big. It was the same size as it's specified to fit. But anyway.
It was just a bad batch.
What I found was interesting, though, is I just redid it with regular old Athearn parts that are pretty much stock for this model.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually runs better now than it did before. It's actually smoother, which kind of surprised me. But
could be the decoder, right?
Well, the decoder is part of it, and it does have a CAN motor. It has a Mashima, I'm not sure how you say that, but CAN motor in it. But, so that's part of it. But the drivetrain has a lot to do with how smoothly it'll run, too.
Yeah.
So,
well, our friends at Athearn will be very interested to see this model because it's a very nice.
Yeah. So, anyway, I like this little engine.
Well, I wish we had a longer time to play with it, Dan, but we got to go.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I guess it'll be a surprise in whatever we see next week.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to everybody then. See ya.
Okay.